go. Right, so welcome to the first ever episode of 26 Minutes With, and tonight's episode is actually a guy from who I've met on LinkedIn. So it's 26 Minutes with James Sweeney. Now, me and James, we've only just connected quite recently. He's been following a couple of my posts along the way and been seeing some of the work that I do with my mental health work stuff. And he dropped me a message, and I said, why not? Let's jump on a call. Let's record it. And it was very, very spare at the moment stuff. And it's the launch of 26 Minutes. So, James, for the people that don't know you, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hello, I am James. I am James Sweeney. I am from Swansea, and now I am currently on my placement year of my current course at the University of Reading, where I'm working as a communications assistant for the year. I also run my own blog page, which is called Sweeney's Blogs, where I write blogs on stuttering, stress, and mental health, and many more different topics there, and lots of other different jobs and stuff like that.
Okay, right, excellent. So, right now, James, we've just heard some announcements that are coming into place that are really going to change how we are getting about over the next 4 weeks or so. With new measures going into lockdown. So, how's this going to affect your placement at the moment going forward?
It's a very interesting question. So one of the major issues is now going to be focused on both staff and students' mental health. Because now everything is very, very sort of mixed. There's so much sort of there has been so much sort of time now where no one really knows what they are doing, and it has caused quite a lot of stress and quite a lot of mixed feelings, which if they are not actually monitored well, can lead to a very big mental health crisis, which is very, very worrying now, and things like my stutter have been worsened so much where it is going to take a lot of time, a lot of patience, and tons more different things to try and fix this, which is a very, very difficult thing as as speech is such a vital part of our lives, and it is something that quite a lot of quite a lot of different people don't actually sort of can be a very real and a very large issue for so many others.
Yeah, of course. You know, when we look forwards, when we are looking forward a little bit, I always tend to look forward into the future a little bit. And right now, I'm kind of looking more into getting past the next 4 weeks, getting past the 4 weeks after that, and looking into the next year, and kind of wanting to see what there is over there, as in terms of stats of, you know, how much the mental health services are now at strain, how much the stats from mental health services being used, to also going over onto the more devastating side of suicide rates going up, because I do know that 2 years ago it was around 6,500 that died from suicide. Last year, the UK managed to bring those numbers down by just shy of 1,000, I think it was.
Very good. It's very good.
Which is great. You know, a lot of people were saying, I don't see that there's any positive steps. There's a lot of talking, but no action. Now, 5,500 is still a lot of life to lose throughout the year. It's a lot. It's a devastating amount. But I feel that things were starting to come down. Now, no one could have planned for what's happened this year.
No,
it's come out of the blue. And what it's done, it's turned people's lives right upside down. It's the mental health issues that we are having right now within this country, and that are actually going to go further on into not just next year, not just the year after, but this is going to have
lifetimes
effects. It's, you know, the years, if you line the years up as dominoes, this first one, 2020, is going to go, and it's going to have a lasting effect. Now, are you like me, James? Do you look quite far ahead into things and think this? Okay, so you do. So, okay, right, excellent. So, you know, am I right in kind of thinking, James, that possibly prior to this, that with your speech, you was a little bit more free flowing at times, and since this has come, it's added extra strain, extra pressure, extra anxiety to you, that has now kind of over a little bit of time made your stutter worse?
That is true, but one of the major reasons why my speech is as bad as it is currently is links to a very serious call which had happened 12 weeks back now, where I had got asked to join a very big mental health call, and everyone there started mocking me for my stutter, and then 2 or 3 hours after I had left this very, very, very toxic call, all I kept having was brand new Instagram profiles sending me lots and lots of different voice, lots and lots of different voice, different voice, voice, voice messages, which were all mocking me for for stuttering two or three times, and that brought back quite a lot of different bullying sort of times, and it had led to me losing all self confidence, which is a massive thing when it comes to me trying to speak fluently, and it has been such a hard thing with everything that has been going on, to find a way where I can build back me, basically, and it has been a very hard 12 weeks, but I am slowly building James back, and I am not sure of how long it is actually going to fully take, but it is something which I need to be very patient with, and is something which I also need lots of others to try and be more and more patient, as it is not really my it's not my fault that I am like this, but it is something that I am constantly trying to work on, and constantly trying to better myself on, and things like that there.
Well, look, I think that your journey through life has made you believe that you need to better yourself. I, for one, think that you're an excellent chap, James. There's nothing about you that I would say, oh, I'm not too keen on this guy. Everything about you just screams, friendly, open, you know, you just have a warming soul, James. So, firstly, I'm not going to apologise on behalf of whoever this mental health core is, but what I will say, James, is that we'd very much like to be able to carry on communicating with you throughout time, and working with you with Respect Mental Health, because one of the things that we really push is to be able to be open and honest about yourself. And you say that you was receiving these voice notes, and people, it astounds me that people would want to take a path into mental health work when they are not caring for someone else's mental health that they're meant to be working alongside. Now, this was about 12 weeks ago, and this really triggered about 12 weeks ago for you. But I also heard that you had said in there as well, James, is that it brings back quite a few memories. Am I right in thinking that maybe this has been an occurring thing over time, starting from school, leaving school, finding a group of how old are you, James?
I'm 21 now.
21. Okay, so you're still fairly young. So I'm taking this would have went through your school life as well. Was it quite tough all through school? Was there a certain group of people that would kind of ridicule you a lot, or was it kind of people that would strike up a conversation and realize you then had a stutter?
Stuttering's been quite a difficult actual topic for me going through my school life. And there's quite a common thought when it comes to people who have a stutter, and it is that they don't want to actually speak. And it's the complete opposite, because there's so many different stutterers who have been drilled down to the point where they feel like they have no actual voice, which is such a sad thing to actually see. And there's so many different forms of bullying which can have a massive knock on to your stutter. So for me personally, I have been bullied for my speech by my fellow students, lots of different friends, lots of different teachers, lots of different It's just such a very big field which grows and grows and grows.
Of course. So, not only from the kids, but from also teachers as well. That's, it breaks my heart, really, James, that someone would kind of do that. Now, does that ever feel like you've been pushed in a position where you want to say something, but you haven't because of fear of being bullied or someone coming back? Or have you always kind of said, sod it, whether you take me like this or not, I'm going to have my say?
I am a very stubborn person where where I am so used to having to fight for my right to have a to have a to have a to have a voice. So I have put myself in the position where I try and tell others who have a stutter that they have their own voice and they can use it. Granted, there are going to be lots and lots of different views, which are all saying that you take too long to get a sentence out, but that does not mean that you have no value or no meaning. Like of me,
yeah.
I have 4 different jobs, and I am still a student, and it is fine to have very bad days, and it's fine to have things like my really bad call, which have a very bad knock on for your speech, but you still have a voice, and you need to sort of see that there will be some there will be quite a lot of different p p p p p p p lots of others who will actually take the time to listen to what you have to actually say, and when that starts to happen, you will start to stutter less and less and less, and soon your speech will start to be more and more fluent. But it is something that will take a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of work, which you have to carry on doing, which is something that quite a lot of others don't really think of. Is stuttering isn't a one job fix. That is not the full story to having a stutter. It is a continuous strive to slowly fix your speech fluency, and it's a continual lesson where you start to learn more and more and more about you and for others. It's such a big life lesson, but you may need to just take that first step, and that is something that I want to try and help as many different others with as I can, because it's such a big thing, which is sadly never given the thought that it truly does need.
Of course. Now, this is completely kind of educational to me, and you're such an inspiration, being able to come on here and share your experience, because I can only imagine that things that have happened throughout life. Having a stutter is one thing, but to be ridiculed and to be bullied about it by different people throughout your life can have long-lasting effects on people. Now, I don't know much about stutters. I can't remember anyone through my school having a stutter. I have come across a couple of people in my working life. And as you said, it's a bit about having the patient side. You know, I'm never in a rush. I never think, oh, I haven't got time to listen to this. If someone wants to talk to me, whether, you know, whether they have a stutter or whether they're just someone who takes a long time to explain something, you know, I will always make the time to make sure that I sit and listen. Truly because I kind of I can get an idea of how it would feel for someone just to kind of cut you off or just walk away or not even entertain a conversation with you. Now that brings me on to the next thing: is there a points in your life where you've had groups of people that are kind of there through everything, or has there been a lot of isolation that comes with stuttering?
Most most of my life has been sort of now going from group to different group, which is quite a sad thing, but it's closely linked to A, my stutter, B, my history with with uh, with with different kinds of mental health.
Yep.
C, it is how I is how I always try and strive to better and better me a as a person, and of quite a lot of others tend to see that more as me trying to point school, which is something that I would never try and try and try and try and do. But one of the only major things which has stayed a very big constant is my family.
Yeah, of
and
course. Yeah, of
uh,
course.
and and that is one of the reasons why I struggle now is due to the fact that the that that the person who I have always been closest to, my grand my grand my grand my grandmother, has very serious Alzheimer's now, and she was the person who I always went to,
Mm,
and now she sadly has no mental actual capacity left, and uh, and it and it left quite a massive hole, which is very hard to and try and fill, as there is no one who is as close to me as
mm.
me and my grandmother were.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
They go on. Yeah, so
uh,
they always say kind of you know, there's always that one person in the world that truly gets you. And do you know what? I always kind of feel that it was the same with my nan. She you know, she was always the one that kind of knew everything. She knew the ins and outs. She knew how to make you feel better. She knew, you know, what buttons to push to get you energized again, to give you that kick, to give you that, you know. And she was also the one there to be like, if it's that bad, come inside these arms, and she'll give you a cuddle and make sure it's okay. So I completely understand where you're coming from with that. But James, it really does seem, before we wrap it up, I just want to kind of say that, you know, it seems that life has its challenges, and, you know, with some people challenges are a little bit more. Now, but I come from a background full of challenges, you know, with mental health, and it's exactly why I set up Respect Mental Health. My partner herself, she has bipolar, split personality. So, you know, there's not just one girl that I'm dating, it's like 5 or 6 at a time. You know, one of my sons, he has autism, and he struggles. He was non-verbal for up until last year. He was non-verbal. He didn't speak at all. Then all of a sudden, he just started speaking. Now, we've been keeping an eye on his speech, because although he doesn't stutter, he does struggle with certain words, and he has like a stutter effect, but it is only certain words. Every other word he'll fly through, but he gets to a certain word and he has to stop, and he has to really, really think about it.
Would there some help there? Would it be of any help if I sent over some of my tips and tricks for when I sort of can't really speak fluently?
I would love that. I would absolutely love that. If you would be able to do that when we come off here, we would definitely be able to send that over. Now, James, I would love to sit here and speak with you all night, and we probably will continue to speak just before we both shoot off to bed, because we are going a bit into the night now. So it's getting a little bit late. But James, this is not going to be the end of us two having a chat. I'm going to whiz you over my number after as well, because it'll be great to find out even more about your story. You know, and finding out a bit more. But this podcast is called 26 Minutes With. You know, it's always going to be maybe a few minutes under or a few minutes over. But as a first guest, James, I don't think it can really get us any better than that as a first guest.
Thank you.
I really appreciate you coming on, sharing your story, and also giving me a little bit of knowledge about is it a condition? Are we allowed to call it a condition?
Yeah,
of course. So yeah, thanks for sharing a little bit, and you know, I wish you all the best. And as I said, this won't be the end. We'll carry on our chats anyway.
Of course we will. Of course we will.
Well, look, James, thank you very much, and you have a great evening.
Right.
Cheers. Thank you.